Welcome to the BackPageLead Vidcast, joined as usual by the Triple M and 1HD expert, Wayne Carey. How are you, mate?
Very well.
Well, you're the expert. Come on. How did Geelong win that game against Hawthorn yesterday?
By being hard at the footy. They're a very good wet weather side. I know it was only 2 points, but if I'd known the conditions were going to be like that, Charlie, I would have actually tipped the Cats. I think Hawthorn, it was just a terrific game. They've now had, the last 8 or 9 games, what the average was 11 points. With that 2 point margin, that average will come down again. It was a fantastic game. Hawks had their chances late. Bartell, love him. Selwood, love him. Bartell just knows how to take a mark, kick a goal at the right time. He doesn't miss. And I think someone might have said in the commentary that if you had your life on a player to have a kick, Jimmy Bartell would probably be it. And I can't agree more.
His legs are about that long, and he kicked that goal from outside 50.
Oh, he's a beautiful kick of the footy. If you remember last year's grand final,
Oh.
he kicked one from a fair way out as well that they needed to kick. He's a very good player. He's done everything in the game other than win a Geelong best and fairest, which Enright has, and does a very good job on Rioli every time they play Hawthorn. He's won 2 BNFs at that club, 4 All-Australians. He just gets the job done.
My point is, Hawthorn had all the momentum going into three-quarter time. They'd kicked the last 3 goals of the quarter. The rain came down. It's made for defenders, those conditions, obviously, and holding a lead. Are they mentally weak? They lost to Collingwood in the preliminary final.
Made for defenders. Well, what about the Tomahawk and also BPL? If it was made for defenders, you've got Hawkins, who was just absolutely brilliant. 22 possessions. I don't think he would have had 22 possessions in a game before. I'm not positive on that.
Yeah.
But you know, in those conditions, that was a terrific game. He's come of age, Tommy Hawkins. He played a good last home and away game last year, all good finals, and then started this year terrifically well. Podge-Adley was good also in those conditions. They just made the most of their chances, Charlie, in the last quarter.
Yep.
I think Hawthorn kicked 5 points. You know, if one of those is a goal, they win. So did they choke? No, I just think Geelong, as all good sides do, find a way to win the close ones.
Yep.
They lost a close one last week against Freo, learnt from that and was able to come out and show that they're last year's premiers and they're going to take some beating again.
And that was with Stephen Motlop in the side and Cameron Guthrie and Billy Smets, and they had 5 or 6 young players.
Yeah, exactly right. They can all play and they all step up. I mean, their top end players are still playing really good footy and they're strong over the footy, and that's why in those conditions it suits them down to the ground. I think if it was on a fast track, we may have seen a different result. It wasn't. Cats too good.
Yep, fair enough. Interesting round of footy. I mean, there were a lot of one-sided results, weren't there? And the fact the AFL fixtured Greater Western Sydney and Gold Coast on the one day made for a bit of a fizzer. There was a Sunday, and I think the combined total of defeats for 2 new franchises was 221 points.
Yeah, look, we've all known there's going to be they're going to have a few more floggings yet too before they start to become good sides. We probably thought the Gold Coast would improve a lot on last year. Doesn't seem that they have.
Yep.
Gary Ablett was absolutely brilliant again. Can't speak highly enough of him. Saw him firsthand. 40 possessions, contested possessions. To be doing that in a side that's getting pumped, it's pretty remarkable.
Was he being tagged?
Pretty remarkable. Yeah, look, on and off. And Jones was on him the whole day, going on and off the ground, and really didn't give him. I thought Jones was doing quite a good job, and then he ends up with 40 possessions. He's just very good. But yeah, look, Greater Western Sydney are going to be flogged all year, so you'd expect Gold Coast to improve on what they've delivered in the first 2 rounds. They've been disappointing, but that rot's going to continue, I'm afraid.
Already some questions are being asked about the direction that Guy McKenna's taking Gold Coast in. I don't know if that's an unfair appraisal or not. Did you think when Gold Coast started it was going to take them at least 2 years to kind of get the hang of things? 3 years?
No doubt about that. It's going to take them a little while. They're going to be down the bottom for a good few years yet, and as is Greater Western Sydney. But look, they've got some talented kids there. They just need to add a little bit of experience. Not forgetting they still have a lot of chances and a lot of liberties that they've been given from the AFL over the next few years to go out and get some of these players. So they're going to get better.
Yeah. And interestingly, listening to a rival station to yours, I must say, on the weekend, but Mick Malthouse questioned some of Kevin Sheedy's tactics with Greater Western Sydney, especially when they were kicking into the wind in the second quarter against North. I think Sheedy played pretty much every player behind the centre square, just trying to minimise the damage. Mick thought they should have played the full ground and they had a structure in the forward line.
Well, I tend to agree with that. I think that you let the young kids play, show their talent. We saw young Cameron kick 4 goals, which was a positive for Greater Western Sydney. But let them have their head, so to speak, and play footy.
Yeah. Okay, I agree with you as well. So just on the first game we discussed, Hawthorn and Geelong, if you're a Hawthorn supporter, absolutely nothing to be dispirited about.
I wouldn't be too concerned about that. They got beaten by a better side by 2 points on the afternoon.
And they'll be there when the whips are cracking at the end of the year.
I wouldn't be counting the Hawks out just yet, but like I said to you when we started a few weeks ago, the Cats are still the side to beat.
Did you pick them for the flag, by the way?
The flag last year.
No. In 2012, did you have the Cats
as this year?
Yeah.
No. I've actually said the Hawks.
Yeah.
But as I said to you last year, when you were raving on that Collingwood they couldn't be beaten.
Unbeatable.
Unbeatable. And I said there's no such thing as unbeatable, and that's the same for the Hawks and the Cats. I think the premiership race this year is wide open.
Yeah, agreed. Wayne Carey, thanks so much for your insights for round 2 of the 2012 season. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Thanks, Charlie.